Alright guys, welcome back to another video here for Diablo. For this video, I wanted to give you guys 5 amazing solo XP farms and legendary farms that you could be doing after the nerf. Now, I've tested all of these on World Tier 3 and 4, and let me tell you, these are absolutely amazing farms to be doing no matter what level that you are. From level 1 all the way up to level 100, these are great to be doing now, like I said, after the nerf. You get a bunch of enemies and a bunch of elites too, so you guys get XP and legendaries. And I'll also be showing you guys a trick at the end that you can instantly reset your dungeons without having to leave the game or anything like that. But let's start off with the first one. Now, this one is actually pretty damn good because you can do this in the early game. This can be located right on top of Kiova's Shard, which is pretty good for your early game players or even late game. This one is pretty simple. You don't have to do any objectives, you don't have to go to the second stage or anything like that. Just go through the entire dungeon. It's kind of like a circle and just kill everything. There's going to be a bunch of elites and a bunch of enemies. Pretty easy to go through. I managed to do this on World Tier 4. I actually managed to do all of these on World Tier 4, but for the recording, I did it on World Tier 3 at level 62, which is pretty good. Now, this one, you're going to have a lot of the same enemies, the big snow guys. I don't know what they're called. Yeah, definitely do this one for your early game or late game. Pretty good, and you can actually see the enemies in the top right just in case that you do miss any. Yeah, this one is good. For the next one, I'm going to have a look at Demon's Wake. I literally just made a recent video about this straight after the nerf because this one is pretty damn good as well. Again, all you have to do for this one is do the first objective, which you can see in the background right now. Destroy 2 skeleton totems, and then you go to the next stage, and this is where all the enemies are going to be. Now, again, you can see all the enemies in the top right. There is so many of them, and you also get a bunch of elite spawning as well. When you go and kill a bunch of them in a certain area, a lots of them will just jump at you. They'll just spawn, kill everything, and then you can reset this dungeon. Very, very quick dungeon, very easy because a lot of the enemies aren't powerful at all. And even at the start of it, there's going to be a lot of elites and a lot of enemies as well. So clear out the first stage and then go to the next stage, kill everything, and then reset. A really, really good dungeon, especially after the nerf. For the third dungeon, I want to have a look at Blind Burrows. Now, this one has recently gained some hype. This can be located right here on the map, and the great thing about this one is actually this is one of the easiest ones that I have done on World Tier 4, being level 62. Now, this one, it's all these spider enemies. They are very, very weak. Just be careful of the bubbles, the poison bubbles. In World Tier 4, if you're low level, you can get killed pretty quickly, but you guys are going to be doing it a lot smarter than I am. This one, all you have to do is just run around, kill everything. There is going to be a bunch of elites here and a lot of spider guys, and very easy to kill. Simple dungeon. There's going to be a lot of enemies, some elites as well. And the great thing about this one is you can get it done very quick and get a bunch of XP and legendaries as well. So yeah, this one is definitely something that you guys should be looking at because recently it has been getting some hype. A lot of people have been doing it, realizing it is a very, very good farm for some XP and legendaries. For the next one is Alder's Cave. Again, another dungeon that has been recently getting some hype. This one is another great one because all you have to do is kind of, again, run around the entire map and just kill everything. Some of the enemies in here can be a bit tricky, especially the big buffalo looking things, but definitely something you guys should be looking at. There's going to be a bunch of elites in this dungeon. Very good for legendary drops and XP. It shouldn't be too difficult. A lot of the enemies are kind of weak. You're going to have a lot of bandits, scorpions, and I think some demons in here as well. But otherwise, a very good dungeon. Very easy to clear because it's kind of like a long trail. You just go around it. You can't really miss anything because it kind of loops on itself. A really good dungeon. And for the final dungeon we're going to have a look at is the Iron Hold. Obviously, probably the best dungeon to be doing right now, especially at endgame, because of the amount of elites that spawn in there is absolutely ridiculous. All you have to do is go over to the second stage after clearing the first objective and just kill everything down below further in the dungeon. A lot of elites here, so be careful. Make sure you have a very good, powerful build, something to take out a lot of enemies and single target damage as well. I'm just using my sorcerer here with the ice shard build. Pretty good for destroying a bunch of enemies. Otherwise, yeah, definitely have a look at this one if you haven't already. If you are new, if you are even late game, this one is probably the best dungeon to be doing right now for late game XP gains and legendaries and farming. Probably my favorite and everyone's favorite as well, but the ones previous are very good as well if you don't have the hang of Iron Hold right now. Alright, and that's pretty much it for the dungeons that I wanted to make a video on for today. Now, the trick to reset dungeons easily. All you have to do is this. Now, most likely you guys are going to be doing this on World Tier 3, just like I am. So all you have to do is start a Nightmare dungeon by using one of the sigils. Once you have done that, you want to go to the Nightmare dungeon. You want to do the first objective of that dungeon, and you want to open the door so you have the next objective of that dungeon. Then you want to leave the Nightmare dungeon and go to any dungeon that you're going to be farming. Once you have farmed as much as you want in that dungeon, you want to leave the dungeon and then go back inside, and the dungeon will be reset. It's a exploit or glitch or bug in the game right now that allows you to do that, which will most likely be fixed by the time maybe a week or so, maybe 2 weeks at most. But right now, as I'm making this video, hopefully it hasn't been nerfed just yet. It's still working by the time I'm making this video and uploading it. And that's pretty much it. That is on how to farm solo very quickly with the best 5 farms that I have found myself so far. And they're doing a bit of research as well. And that is how you can reset dungeons instantly. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it came in helpful for you guys to get XP and legendaries. And I'll see you guys very soon.